Thank you, Sam. I'd like you to meet someone.
Hello, Sam. My name is Charlie.
Charlie's Drawbridge's patron.
Hear me out, Sam. I want you to help us bring Australia into the network. Drawbridge has been selected to oversee this critical operation. People saw what you did in Mexico and wanted more of the same.
What are you trying to pull?
There are reasons why I can't tell you who I am, Sam. But to be clear, I'm not APAS, nor am I your enemy.
What, you think I'm just gonna trust the words of some faceless mannequin?
I need you to trust me. I'm the one paying for the ship and this whole operation at considerable personal risk.
Nah, I wanna see a face, or no deal.
A face? Very well. Since you won't take it from me, maybe it should come from someone you know. How's this? Pick one of your old comrades and I'll speak to you with their voice. Who would you like? Who would you trust?
Sam, it's Harlan. Call me dead man. I'm well acquainted with the dead.
Sam, this is Die Hardman.
It's been a while, but not really. Mulligan, Locke, no. We're the same.
Call me dead man. I'm well acquainted with the dead. Sam, it's Harlan.
Sam, this is Die Hardman. Sam, this is Die Hardman.
All right. Pulling up his profile from the database.
How about now, Sam? Feeling more at ease already, I'm sure.
You tell me, old buddy, if this is a UCA sanctioned op, who knows about it?
You misunderstand. Then again, there's a lot I still haven't explained to you, isn't there? I think it's time a certain someone made an appearance. I'd like you to meet the president.
The new president? The guy who took over after Die Hardman?
Not precisely. The UCA doesn't have a presidential system anymore. Guy Hartman was the first and only president, making it one of the shortest-lived single executive administrations in history. One can only guess what he felt about it. Previously, the president was subject to the will of the people via popular vote every 4 years. APAS, however, is far more efficient. It can ascertain public opinion in real time and thereby determine the appropriate course of action. This led to the adoption of a new model.
President guy? You just told me he isn't really the president.
He is not the president of the UCA. Rather, he serves as the president of APAC. APAC is a privately owned corporation responsible for the operation and oversight of APAS, a service provider to which we may delegate day-to-day governance.
Your performance in Mexico was exemplary. We cannot thank you enough. Well done. Truly. I firmly believe that the only ones capable of expanding the network into Australia are those who helped establish it here at home. That means you, Sam. And you too, Fragile. APAS has determined that you have the highest probability of success in this endeavor.
APAS and the chiral network are all built on UCA tech. If you expand their reach beyond our borders, then you're expanding their influence as well, aren't you?
A valid concern. But it wasn't the UCA that made the final decision. It was APAC, a private corporation. The UCA has no involvement whatsoever in this matter. Sam, it may interest you to know that linking up Australia will also serve a greater goal. You see, the plate gate that connects North America and Australia only matured after you united America with the chiral network. On that basis, we believe that a new gate will manifest somewhere within Australia once full chiral connectivity is achieved. At that time, APAS should have sufficient data to calculate the location of other points of connection between continents. With this information, APAS can then proceed to extrapolate the positions of these landmasses. In other words, this mission is not just about linking up a single continent. By connecting Australia, we will be one step closer to reclaiming a pre-Death Stranding world where everyone is part of a greater whole. I hope my answer alleviates your concern somewhat.
Guess so. Tell me, though. Who's Charlie to you?
He may speak for me as necessary to ensure the operation proceeds according to plan. Our corporation, however, will calculate what factors are essential for your success and will provide you with direct support. Welcome aboard, Sam. Charlie, we'll take it from here.
It will be your job to travel the continent and connect the people, Sam. But know that everyone on this ship is ready and eager to back you up. You won't be on your own this time.
So, you're gonna do it?
Did it before. Seems like the only thing I'm good at.
To go over the details of the request that Drawbridge has agreed to handle. Access the Deirdre Magellan's delivery terminal when you're ready to proceed.
Right, Sam. Let me give you a rundown of your new job. The big one. It's the same deal as America. The people here are isolated. The cities are cut off from one another. And so, to bring all of Australia into the chiral network, we want you to cross the continent and link up key locations using your Cupid. To begin with, you'll connect several facilities in sequence on your way to the closest city to here, West Fort Knott. Charlie will brief you on the order that will take you to the first facility.
Your first destination is home to what they're calling the government. They seek to establish a new administration to fill the void left by Australia's collapse. As the concept of formal governance is a distant memory to most, they opted for a simple name. These people are currently suffering from the effects of severe chiral contamination. But with UCA technology, they should be able to make a full recovery. The cargo you'll be entrusted with contains everything they need for their treatment. If we can deliver it and earn their trust, they should be amenable to joining the chiral network. Needless to say, it's their business to know the current lay of the land, and we would benefit from their support. We're already seeing anomalous chiralium readings throughout Australia. There's even a BT area not far from where we are now. A BB pod should allow you to use your Ultra deck to ascertain the location of BTs, but it's unclear if that pod will function correctly at this time. Proceed with the utmost caution.
Charlie may be our patron, but he likes to get his hands dirty whenever he can. He's been an excellent advisor to us as well. I say this to assure you that any instructions Charlie gives have been discussed with and approved by me. All right, let's get to it. Review the details of the main order on the delivery terminal.
Updating with new data supplied by Drawbridge from outside chiral network coverage. Sam, APAS has been analyzing your actions so far, and it seems it's added some new upgrades tailored to your preferred way of working. It's my understanding that additional servers are currently being installed on several beaches, which should result in a marked increase in APAS's processing power. Due to the timeless nature of the beach, the potential to boost APAS's capabilities is infinite. Its analysis will therefore grow more comprehensive as you complete more orders, meaning you can expect additional enhancements to become available soon. Experiment with them and see what you like. APAS enhancements are now available.
up.
Come back safe.
So you really came, eh? Cut straight. That's quite a feat. Been waiting a long time, but let's see how well you were able to handle our delivery. I don't know what to say, other than great job, Porter. I wasn't expecting you to make this delivery as well. Like everyone says, you've already put that decontamination unit to good use. Anyway, go ahead and connect us. Now displaying your current Porter grade. Chiral with it. Ever since Span didn't realise that the chiral network is, at least, that to support your efforts, we've shared the data we have about use it to the best of. Take the bowler gun, for example. With our data, we were able to improve and refine the design of the APAC standard issue model. You can charge it down to fire projectiles with a narrower spread. Perfect for taking down hard-to-reach targets with precision. And then, there's backpack customization. We've developed a number of unique attachments that can be equipped to the pack you're currently carrying. Stuff I guarantee will give you an edge in a fight. You might consider bringing this gear with you when you... Oh, and last but not least, we patched through an Odradek update that allows its sensor to pick up living beings, and it's an improvement that builds on the sensor's existing functionality. Anything it detects will be visible to you as a silhouette for a I'm sure it'll come in handy down the road. Due to our proximity to a BT area, this shelter was subject to significant chiral contamination. Said area has also been the source of a new type of BT. Unlike the usual sort, these ones are able to see us. Clear as day. As such, we've taken to calling the buggers Watchers. And they're every bit as dangerous as any other BT. You're going to want to steer clear at all costs. I'm not doing any better than the UCA or Mexico, I'm afraid. Only difference is the presence of armed belligerents we call brigands, as well as a new type of BT we've been seeing all over lately. The brigands have been trying to bring us to heel and are a right pain in the ass. They've got an irrational enmity for new tech like the chiral network, you see. We've also been seeing major earthquakes all over the continent, as well as devastating floods due to heavy tidefall. You have your work cut out for you while you're down under, that's for sure. Before I forget, there's a request I wanted to send your way. I know you're eager to hit the road and make progress, but I promise you, this is more than worth the trouble. It's a delivery for the lone commander, who lives not too far from here. He's an old ally who provided us with support for all matters military. He's also a crack shot with a sniper, but after this and that, we went our separate ways. And he retired to a shelter off to the east. Can be a hard man to please, but if we can enlist his help again, I'm sure he'd provide us with all kinds of useful information. Data and schematics that might prove invaluable for your work. Especially if you're the type who likes to fight first and ask questions later. Should help us all combat the brigands a damn sight more effectively in any case. I'll forward this request as a sub-order, so check the terminal if you're interested in taking on extra work.
That was excellent work, Sam. With the government now part of the chiral network, we've successfully completed the first step in our journey to connect all of Australia. I want to thank you for making this possible. Well done. To extend network coverage as far as Westport Knot, our next order of business will be to link up the Western Environmental Observatory. The associated order is ready for you. This one may well place you in considerable danger, so be sure to take extra care when selecting your equipment. Access the delivery terminal here to pick up this main order and get underway. Hello, Sam. This is Charlie. To aid you in your future orders, we prepared border suits with camel patterns tailor-made for the Australian environment. We've also provided you with a new basic border suit with customizable colors. Moving forward, I imagine you'll want to adjust your appearance based on the terrain and your personal preferences at the time. Try experimenting with your options.
Waiting for us ahead.
Are they all gone? Well, this is a relief. I was beginning to think I was done for. Give me a moment to confirm the order details. That was incredible. Wouldn't want to get on your bad side. We'd already written this off as lost. You seem like a porter we can rely on. Go on, use your Cupid to get us online. Quickly now. I'll feel a lot safer once we're all hooked up.
Now display your current porter grade.
Online. This ought to do wonders for our ability to monitor chiralium levels by the plague gate. There's more accurate data. Ever since the plague gate appeared, we've been seeing increasingly dramatic anomalies all throughout the Australian continent. Some theorize that the UCA's connection to the chiral network destabilized all areas without coverage. It may also serve you to know that there are 4 environmental observatories, including this one. If you can bring them all onto the network, we're confident we'll be able to calculate where and when the next plague gate will appear. Anyway, you should already have access to the data we designated for you. Now, if we could only manage to get that old road patched up and usable. Well, there's our schematic for an MP shell variant grenade. MP shells explode on impact, and are non-lethal munitions that can not only incapacitate humans, but also deal corrosive damage to mechs. And while they're not as effective as blood grenades, they can definitely hurt BTs too. In any case, you might want to keep a few stashed in your grenade pouch at all times. We've also shared data for a grenade pistol. While it's only good for a few shots, this gun lets you fire MP shell grenades as projectiles. Its small profile means it packs easily as cargo and won't get in the way. Naturally, it'll fit snugly into any handgun holster as well. Our last contribution is the battle skeleton. Like other skeletons you may have used, it increases your maximum carrying capacity and movement speed. This particular model also provides additional protection. However, when you boost it to move faster, or whenever you benefit from its damage reduction capabilities, it'll consume battery power, so make sure you have enough to spare. If you find yourself running low while on the road, you'll need to use a generator or borrow a private room somewhere to recharge. You want to take one out for a spin? It once ran through this region. Saw quite a lot of traffic from what I hear. If you scrounged up enough materials to keep the autopaver fed, you could make it just like it was back in the old days. But it's not like we have everything you need just lying around. Restoring roads is a massive undertaking, to put it mildly. Having said all that, east of this facility, you'll find the smoke kiln mine. Get them operational and processing ores again, and you should have no trouble securing the requisite materials. I've posted a sub-order for this task, so take it on if you're interested. We can't thank you enough, Sam. Before you go, You've been getting a lot of praise for all your hard work. And in recognition of this, it seems you've been officially cleared to take on standard orders. Between the harsh conditions of the violent outlaws, there are fewer and fewer folks willing to serve as porters these days. You can review the event. You'll bet you could benefit from having. Anyway, best wish.
That's some good work, Sam. The DHV Magellan spark not too... You'll be able to be... But before that, I imagine you're both pretty tired.
Feels good.
Glad we can count on you.
mine's up and running again. Time to inform the staff of the Western Environmental Sam, when we first arrived, you may have seen a sign requesting assistance with road restoration. Since we're here, why don't we mine a little? That way we might obtain the necessary materials to finish the job.
We've designated moments. This is a chiral anti-gravity device that can be... Slap it on and your cargo will feel... And the more of them you use... Any portal, I'm sure you'll be...
Order completed. Well done.
Sam, take a good look at the tracks you've made. They're proof that you were here.
Order accepted. Thank you. Process your orders.
Did a little restoration. Wow. Not even. I don't know where you found this. I have a feeling this data will be of use to you. Take it, please. We're increasing your allocation in...
Now displaying your current portal grade.
When operational, the mines... And with raw... It's a good reason to restore any other mines you happen to come across further down the road. Oh yeah, north of here are some much bigger mines even. Used to be you could find active mines scattered all throughout the continent. Because of the gold rushes, you know. From what I understand, the rail network was pretty extensive before the Death Stranding, and unmanned trains filled to the... I should mention that we're actually developing a new system that's something of a successor to the old railways. If you head north, you can see it for yourself. I've shared data with you for an electric shock absorber you can attach to your backpack. What? Even better, it'll also harness some of the juice to... Goes without saying, that could come in. Be sure to give it a try sometime.
Order completed. Well done. Order accepted. Thank you.
Anyway, I want to keep going.
deliveries even at this time of night. That's good of you. I'm glad to see you handled our delivery. I'd say it's about time I gave you this. We've designated more materials for you. Now just bring your current order grade. With your help, we were able to improve the design of the spare ammo container and create a version with a much bigger capacity. That's not an overstatement. It'll let you carry a lot that weight. That sounds good to you? Give it a try.
Order completed. Well done.
Can you hear me now? Is it finally speaking? Can you hear me now? Is it finally speaking? Okay, now I got this. Oh god, no audio the whole time. My bad. Okay, now I got this. Oh god, no audio the whole time. My bad.
condition. I appreciate what you, but I'm afraid I can't agree to becoming... To be frank, I don't trust you, Draw. There's also no end. And if you haven't got what it... Complete my latest order, though. If it strikes you as an unread, you gotta know what you can and can't handle it. All of which is to say you shouldn't go off half-cocked and throw your life away. Are we clear?
was requested. All that remains now is to drop it off.
remains now is to drop it off.
displaying your current porter grade.
So this is what it's like being all hooked up and wired in. It's a shame our paths couldn't have crossed sooner. Maybe this world of ours wouldn't have been so divided, and maybe... My sniper rifle. It's configured to fire tranquilizing rounds. An ideal choice for those who prefer to get the job done without undue bloodshed. Bit of advice though. Make sure you engage your enemies at a healthy distance. It's not a silenced weapon, so fire too close and they'll be all over you before you have time to react. And don't think about taking a shot until you plan your next move. Any sniper worth their salt stays mobile, constantly securing new vantage points to evade detection. And always remember to account for bullet drop. In a nutshell, you might need to aim at a point a notch or two above. And finally, you want to hold your breath to steady your aim of having left that life behind. Hey now, don't knock them till you've tried them, alright? Granted, you can't neutralize an enemy with, but they are effective at blinding them and giving you cover. And even if they do open fire, which means that even if you've alerted them with one of your own shots, properly utilised, they're a great tool for disrupting it. Furthermore, if you happen to have a sensor or something similar on hand, you can use it to track it, making things pretty one-sided. Or, if you're the kind of bloke who'd rather get up close and personal, you can chuck one at their feet whilst... It may sound like a bit of a yarn, but my friends and I supported the government's plans to rebuild Australia. To defend ourselves against those who had other ideas, we had no choice but to take up arms. It ended up costing most of us our lives. You've seen what became of them. My mates are the Watchers scattered all over this hill, mixed in with all the enemies we slaughtered. And for what? Was it worth all the struggle, all the bloodshed, for the world we shared to be reduced to this? So, I left the military behind, decided I had to go it alone. I had to figure things out. Were we all just doomed to die and become Watchers? Was that the only way for us to come together? Now fuck that. There was another way. Before it all went to hell, we should have tried to find common ground. And now, with your chiral network, working with the government too, for all that and more. Righto, Sam. Seems it... Well, anyway...
Well, we've both got one. Let's get at it, huh? Always been so good for us.
I'm afraid you've dropped some cargo. I don't know about you, but I'm exhausted. Perhaps we could take a break? Are you all right? You were talking in your sleep. Kept repeating the name Amelie.
Sam, Tarman here. I'd like to brief you on... Once you're ready to head out, access the delivery terminal on the DHV...
So, the files say you worked with Amelie to connect everyone in the UCA to the chiral network. But that despite your best efforts, an extinction event known as the Last Stranding seemed destined to kill us all. Until Amelie found a way to put a stop to it. She single-handedly sealed off the extinction entity's beach, preventing countless BTs from invading our world, and in doing so, saved humanity. But why am I telling you this? You were there to witness it all with your own two eyes. And you, of all people, must know that humanity can never truly escape extinction. The ultimate goal of Drawbridge's mission is to overcome the Death Stranding. If we succeed, we will be fulfilling Amelie's dying wish. At least that's how I see it. The weapons they were wielding were impressive, and the brigands themselves were a tough, imposing bunch. You know, Sam, you can have me scout ahead if it would make your life easier. Just toss me into the middle of their camp, and I can give you a better picture of what to expect. It's not very sophisticated, but it worked. When the first APAC expedition came to Australia, the brigands saw them as invaders and rejected their overtures. They were unwilling to embrace the change that the chiral network could bring to their world. While their motives differ, I'm reminded of the Luddite movement and their violent opposition to new technologies. Brigands seem committed to not killing their enemies, at least. If only they had channeled their energies into a constructive dialogue. Ah, yeah. Those wandering BTs we encountered, I believe people call them Watchers. A fitting name given their behavior. The way they seem to be eyeing us with such disconcerting intensity. They can't see everything, though. No, they've definitely got some blind spots. Meaning, you might be able to avoid combat by evading detection and sneaking past unnoticed. So in order to survey an area, I have to rely on a very special power. My strength of will, you might say. The requisite focus can be rather exhausting, but I'm happy to grin and bear it since it's for your sake. So, if you deem it necessary, feel free to send me airborne as many times as you like. It won't use up any battery or chiral crystals. All it requires is that I place... It's important to remember that defeating BTs isn't the same as eliminating a threat. These entities are simply being driven back to the world of the dead for the time being. You know, it looks as though you've been issued a few different hats, Sam. Why not experiment and switch up your headgear to suit your mood? You can also change the outfit I'm wearing if you like. I shall put my faith in your impeccable sense of fashion. Sam, I hope it's not too much to ask that you continue to take me with you. I know a thing or two about BTs and the dead, after all. We aren't the only members of Drawbridge, so you know. We have associates who've already established themselves on the ground. I expect you'll run into them from time to time. Out of curiosity, Sam, did you notice that the mirror above your sink displays images of the outside world? These images change as we travel and actually show what's waiting for us outside the DHV Magellan when we disembark. Prolonged living inside an enclosed space can be bad for one's mental health due to the unchanging environment. That's why I asked Carmen to implement this particular feature. A digital photo frame. An easy-to-understand name, don't you think? Though I'm the only one who calls it that. Anyway, it'll give you a preview of our surroundings. That's sure to have some practical benefits. Showers these days are truly impressive, Sam. They really are. They're able to collect all the minute chiral crystals from your wastewater and repurpose them for later use. The ones on board the DHV Magellan are the latest model. You would do well to use them regularly. Good morning, Sam. I don't really have anything else to say right now. Sam, I think it's high time we get going. All this relaxation is no good for my sciatica. Sam, I think it's high time we get going. All this relaxation is no good for my sciatica.
Ah!
Sam, I think it's high time we get going. All this relaxation is no good for my sciatica. You're a kind man. Ready to head out, Sam? I sure am. I was born ready.
You can't bend down. Why don't you bend down? You can't bend down either. You can't bend down either.
Stop insulting me. I clean up after
Sam, I think it's high time we get going.
A pig?
All this relaxation is no good for...
Wow.
I clean up your trash down here.
Ready to head out, Sam?
And then you leave
I sure am. I would...
crumbs. Jerry, it's not preferable.
Sam, I think it's high... All this relaxation is no good for
I
my
have to finish
sciatica.
this.
Oh my god.
Ready to head...
Jerry,
You're a
you
kind
pause
man.
the game and give your mother the driver's license for whatever reason, and don't have my phone off the table. Would you like me to give her the driver's license?
Yes.
Okay. Why could you not have asked me that kindly beforehand?
My word. My word.
Are you all right, Sam? What was that just now? Did something happen?
She says the same thing every day. You have to get along with yourself. Get on with yourself.
Feels good.
Sam, about the next site we wanted you to bring online with the Cupid. It seemed the tar currents nearby have grown unstable. Under these conditions, it's unlikely we'll be able to establish a chiral net. Our scans have identified a potential cause. An unknown device located within a brigand outpost to the north of West Fort Knott. It's hardly an elegant solution, but we need you to when you're ready. The client in this case is the... I can't wait to... Don't let it... Hey Sam, this is Tarman. The disruptor device we need you to disable is located in this area. You should have no trouble whatsoever destroying it using MP bullets or MP shells. Alternatively, consider getting close enough to access the device directly. You can use your ring terminal to have APAS hack into it, allowing you to disable it. Be advised though, Sam, that some of the brigands you'll encounter on site will be wearing armor protecting both their heads and bodies, and that every one of these armored units will be wielding a rod. No doubt their aim is to fortify themselves against ranged attacks. In light of this development, we've gone ahead and added armored enemies to our VR weapons and combat training programs. This way you can experiment with various methods and find a means of dealing with them that's suited to your personal strengths. That's all the information I have for now. Review your potential routes and finalize your equipment loadout. We're counting on you, Sam.